This is a Glassbox Media podcast.
Someone on blast, but yeah.
No, put him on blast. Honestly, put him on blast. We should just share those, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, I get a real by Felipe.
It always makes me crazy. Like, it doesn't make me crazy, but like, I see those in many girl groups I'm in because that's how prevalent all of this fucking incel by Felipe shit is.
Yeah.
In every group I'm in that's predominantly women, someone will post something like that that's happened to her. And I'm always like, why are you blocking out their name? Fucking put them on blast.
Hell fucking
Straight
yeah.
put them on blast.
Well,
like,
you wonder why people ghost. And it's because, like, I mean, that kind of visceral reaction, literally.
What did you say to him that made him?
It was one day that I went without responding to texts. One fucking day.
well, how dare you?
Oh,
Well,
my
fucking
God.
how dare you?
One day. And I'm busy.
Yeah.
I had a shit crazy fucking week where I'm running around.
And it's not even over.
It's not even over. I have to go back to work tonight as soon as we're done recording.
I feel
and make
bad.
appetizers for rich people. But anyways,
Rich people.
so one day,
fuck rich people.
one day
I'm in a
goes.
mood.
I know. We're
I'm
all
in a
mood.
fucking
Are we
mood.
all synced? By the way,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes?
I mean, I'm not right now, but I'm probably soon.
Yes.
I am right now, and I'm pissed off.
Ooh,
I'm
mine's-
just pissed off about life in
Yeah,
general.
you're like fuck life.
About everything
Yeah.
right now.
Let's go. But
You guys are in for a good episode. I can just
Goddamn.
feel it.
Ooh,
Feel it.
so I go one day without texting this nice guy who I go out on a date with. He's not my guy, but he's like nice enough. I feel bad because he just moved here, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know. I don't think I want to go out on another date with him, but he's cool.
Yeah.
And let's introduce him to my people and at least like get him some friends out here because he's cool.
He's new.
Cool
He's
dude.
got some similar interests as friends of yours. Yeah.
I wake up the next day to 3 like long ass texts,
Damn.
like the ones you have to scroll down.
Oh,
About-
damn.
How selfish I am, how entitled I am, how I'm a liar,
2
how I'm a
words.
fat bitch.
Oh,
People like this, like, are honestly the scariest people.
I
Because
know.
if he seems like a nice dude, he's off fucking
I'd have been like, did
building...
you mean this for me?
Yeah.
Like,
I know this wasn't for me.
right. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, he's off doing fucking like missionary work in Africa or whatever, and
Right.
like tricks you into believing that he is a nice, decent person, and then unloads like that on you. And that's why these guys truly, like, they think they are nice guys.
Mm.
Yeah.
And they will say that. Like, I've seen it like a million times, and they're like, I'm a nice guy, and like fucking bitches like you, like fat cunts like you don't
Jesus.
like.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
I know,
and they're always
dude.
just like, people like you don't like nice guys, and you only want like assholes and fuck boys, and I'm a nice guy over here, and I can't
like,
ever get a date. And I'm like,
I'll take a fuck boy 10 out of 10 times over that insidious shit because the fuck boy's honest about what he's after.
right, you're
True.
gonna
He
get
wants to get in your pants or whatever and ghost you. Great. You're upfront about, like, I know.
I
what
saw
I'm
the
dealing
man
with.
bun.
Right, I
I
know I'm signing up.
understood already. Like, this is what's gonna
I
happen.
know what I signed up for.
You know, I knew
saw
what
it.
I was signing up for with your fucking 5 o'clock shadow and your skinny jeans. I got it. I
Yes.
got the memo.
Your
But
5 o'clock show.
this fucking guy is about to Joe Goldberg you and like, lock you in a fucking cage or
No
whaver
shit.
because he's like, I just love you so much and I'm such a nice guy. I'm just trying to protect you. Like,
Dude,
no.
we went out for drinks. You know me. An hour and a half.
Yeah.
Slow your fucking roll.
But
This
also,
is
isn't that
way
fucking
too much.
terrifying that you went out to drinks with someone like that? Like, because this is the best way that could have
Oh,
panned out.
God, right?
You know, you rather him go off on you in a text message than go off on you when you're like at his house or something like
that's
that.
what I
you
said.
know?
I told you guys. I was like, wow, dude, thanks for showing your true colors, and then blocked him. I was
Yeah,
like,
fuck
that's all
that
I got to
shit.
say about that. You know? Well,
I hope you screenshotted that shit.
yeah, I still have it.
Fuck yeah.
It's fucking bananas.
Yeah, 100%. Find
put
his
me in,
mom.
like, the
Find
worst-
his mom.
Find his mom.
It just put me in the worst mood this week too. I just had a slew of like not even bad dates, not funny dates, just like blech. Yeah.
It's
Just
been
like
a weird week.
blech week. I've been on the
it's been a
moon
weird
or
week.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did
Well, there
not.
was a blood moon, wasn't
Oh,
there?
that's right.
Yeah.
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 We started the week
Dude.
off with a blood moon.
I straight up saw a ghost today.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened.
Oh,
I was at work
shit.
at the studio, and sitting there, I was shampooing this girl's hair, and I hear a click, and then I look over, and the bathroom door opens, and the light turns on. No one's fucking in there. No one's even around there.
Oh god.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Oh my god.
Ghost had to take a pee.
I guess. I
You
was
know?
like, Jesus, I spooked the shit out of me. I was like, okay, well, you know what? Your place. I'm just hanging out.
Oh, well,
Be
there
cool,
you go.
man. Be cool.
Not threatening.
Yeah, yeah.
What else is going on this week? Besides
The
gosh,
blood moon.
the blood moon and my fiery hot rage.
Right?
Yeah.
Blood moon was cool though. Did you see that?
Yeah.
shit?
It
That
was very pretty.
Really cool.
Yeah. Well, I watched probably something that did not help my rage. I watched Abducted in Plain Sight today.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a tough one.
Guys, you
we've all
wanna
watched
be
that, right?
Fucking furious. Yeah,
I
I was.
thought you were gonna do that.
No, I was, but then I was just like, we've all seen it,
Dude, it's
And,
triggering
like,
as fuck.
And I didn't want to do a Crazy in Love that we've all seen the
Yeah.
story of, because then it's like,
But it's
you guys don't get
discussion-worthy.
you don't get any surprises.
It
But
is.
since
It
we've
is
all
Crazy in Love.
seen it, it is discussion worthy. If you guys have not seen it and you're just like, you know what, I feel like being enraged.
Can I
Watch it.
start by saying that some of the feedback I've seen on multiple places is very victim shamey. I know this is kind of piggybacking on some topics that we've talked about, but
Of the girl?
of the girl.
Oh, no. I
And
don't
I'm-
blame her at all, but her
Oh, but the
parents
family.
can suck it.
Yeah.
Like, her parents
mean,
can suck it. Like, seriously.
They clearly.
Dude, what a fucking manipulative psychopath.
Right.
This guy must
Why
have
aren't we
been
talking
to
about that?
suck in those parents, those grown ass fucking adults.
Yeah.
I mean, he got
Look, I know
spoiler warning. He got a not gay guy to like jerk him off in
Yeah.
a car. Like, that's how fucking skilled this guy is. And
I believe all of that, and I think that absolutely, like, this is a person who is obviously highly manipulative. I still think that
To an
those parents,
level.
though, I was like, you have some responsibility and culpability here. Like, you do. Because even before, so guys, yeah, if you don't want spoilers and you just want to go watch it, skip this whole section, because
Yeah.
we're going to talk about it. But, like, even before he took her away the first time, I'm sorry, you let him sleep in her bed next
that
to
was
her?
the-
dude,
yeah.
When she was
get
12?
That to me.
that they didn't have Law and Order SVU back then
No,
or
but
whatever.
that
But
is-
like,
No, but I feel like
But
that's
what-
just
is creepy.
primal instinct
who
as a
lets an
parent.
adult sleep with their like in bed with their child?
exactly.
And
They're
playing those tapes, I'm sorry, you weren't even listening to hear like what the tapes were. You weren't even in there with him. You offered no protections. This is a grown man who has 5 children and a wife, and 4
Fuck.
nights out of 7 nights of the week
sleeping in your bed?
with your 12-year-old daughter.
so fucking
And you're just
weird.
like, I don't know. I thought it was part of his therapy. Like, what?
I mean, these people were
Ma'am?
fucking hoodwinked.
They were just
I don't
like,
even
I don't
get
even
it.
know,
I don't
like
even
the
get
level
it.
of fucking denial that they must be in, and like,
I don't think I could ever forget. To be honest,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. And granted, I'm not in the same position, but I was just like, Jan, I am impressed with you that you can forgive your parents, because I would have a really hard time growing up and not being like,
Right.
my parents failed me in such a tremendous way.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, and she got Stockholm syndromed pretty
Of
much
course, yeah,
she
she's a
like
child.
she's a child,
fucking-
and then like fell in love with him, and then also that whole alien part of
Oh,
it
yeah,
was
her
just
mind,
like,
her
God.
mind wasn't fully developed. That is 128 million % not her fault.
no,
Oh,
in
my
any
God.
way.
this guy like, it's just the
The
craziest
lengths and
story.
levels that he went to. Oh
Yeah.
my God. But he was a master manipulator, and knowing that he is like dealing with people who are in a really strong religious faith,
Yeah.
who are very, very into their, religion. So for them to, and that he hoodwinked these people, both of them, into doing sexual acts and favors for him, that he was like, now I can hold this piece over your head. The manipulation, and I'm not saying that there is not culpability on these parents' part, because you're right. Who the fuck? I'm sorry.
Well, especially
At
after
what
the
point?
first time.
She was abducted twice.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I know.
after the first time, and after you drop the charges because you're like, I felt so bad for my husband because it was going to get revealed that he had like sexual situations with this guy. You then went and had an affair with him for however long.
Oh my
What
God.
the fuck is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, and I understand. I get it. I know that like how manipulation works, and I'm sure that there was a lot going on psychologically. I get it, but I'm also just like, I don't have kids, but I feel like isn't your instinct? They always talk about that like mama bear instinct.
Yeah.
Where was that instinct? It was like it was completely missing. The second time she was gone for like months, and you hear their phone conversations, and it's the waspiest conversation I've ever heard. First of all, this woman is like so fucking soft spoken and like, have you heard from my 13-year-old daughter who's been missing for 5 weeks? Like, I'm sure, do you still want to marry my 13-year-old? Like, it was like,
Well, when did this take place, though? Again, in like the
Fucking
50s or 60s?
I think
And
it was
the
the 70s.
daughter's voice on the phone,
She's a
she
baby.
was a
Baby.
Yeah.
That voice, I was like,
Right, because
See,
you
and
hear 13 and you start to think, oh, okay, like maybe like
Oh,
13.
no.
But no. You hear her voice and you're like, no, she's a child, a small child.
child.
Yeah.
Oh, the recorded tapes with the two of them together.
Oh my God, so gross.
It is. It was for real. There was a moment I had to walk away. It's like only an hour and a half long, and I had to start and stop it. I'm not kidding you, no less than 4 or 5 times, which is ridiculous because it's literally something you should be able to.
It's a tough
It's-
watch, man. It's pretty
Well,
intense.
because it's one of
Triggering.
those things where you think like it could not possibly get worse, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
it gets worse. It gets worse
It gets
up until
so much worse.
It gets so much worse. Like up until the very fucking end.
End.
Like you're
Yeah.
like, so just so you know, guys, if you're like 45 minutes in and you're like, this is as bad as it could
Nope.
get.
Nope.
No.
Hold on.
Hold the phone.
Hold that thought.
Wilson Phillips
Hold,
told
please.
you to
Yes.
hold on for one more day.
For
Yeah.
one more day.
Yeah.
For one more hour. Because
Yeah.
it gets fucking worse.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Gosh, man, yeah, maybe I should not have started my day on my period watching Abducted in Plain Sight,
No.
because it set me for a course of just pure fury
Yeah.
for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Had you not seen it until this morning?
No, I watched it this morning.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, Lord. That is one way to start your day.
That
Yeah,
is not a
it
day
was
starter.
infuriating. I'm like drinking my coffee, just like ready to wreck my office.
I
was
watched
just like,
so much shit this week because I traveled, so I flew and then could watch movies on my plane and all this stuff. And I watched that, and then I watched the Kevin Aucoin documentary, which was
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to see that.
good, so good. But the thing was, and I don't want this to come off shamey, so I'm just gonna say it, and then we'll go from there. But they started out like, he had a lot of drama and he had a lot of things going on, and his family life, and I was like, oh no, what happened with his family? And what happened is he was adopted, and I was like, I was waiting for it to get so much worse. That's kind of was it, and I'm like, I get it. I deal with like some abandonment issues and stuff, but he really, really did, and it was weird because I was like watching his father talk, and his dad's like this Southern guy who's from Louisiana, and he's talking about his son, and he's like, when he came out as gay to us, we were a really strong religious family, and my wife would do the Bible study thing and all this, but when she had to come to say that it was against God to be gay, that's when we quit going to that church because we support our son. I was like, oh my God, this guy is the sweetest guy ever.
That's beautiful.
But then he meets his birth mom, and his birth mom's like, well, if you were my son, if I'd raised you, you wouldn't have been gay.
oh,
Like, so
Wow.
she it was like kind of a double whammy of like being like abandonment issues and then being turned away by this woman again as like no, I don't want you anymore either because of this thing. It's like, wow.
Because of this other thing that you can't control.
But I'm like, his dad, I'm like, he's so cute. And just like, thank God you were adopted. Like that should have been like oh my God, I was with the family I deserved and needed.
I'm sure he knows that. I'm sure like he knows like that's my real family. My adopted family is my real family, and thank God that they're my family, and thank God I was adopted. But I mean,
but it was
I'm sure
like hearing
that
these other people talk about it, like it was.
Well, I mean, and who knows what his actual thoughts
were about it,
because like different people handle things like differently,
and depending
that guy
too
is
on
amazing.
like how you were told and how you interpret things
he always
as a kid.
He always knew.
So it can be complicated, but there's no reason for it to be like said like it's like this huge drama because sometimes it isn't
unless he
interpreted it as
that way.
I was just shocked because I was really waiting for like the ball to drop, like it was going to be like this real big reveal, like oh no, and
this
then
awful thing happened.
And I was like oh okay. I mean, and look, you're right, I can't judge everyone who's adopted by the same
suffering is
quotient, as everyone else, and I can kind of relate. Like I met my birth mom and we don't necessarily see eye to eye. It is a lot like, and there's a girl on there too who was a model and she was adopted, and she's like, it's like meeting a stranger in a bus stop, and you're like, oh hey, you may have some really cool conversations, and you walk away, but it's just somebody you met in the bus stop. You have nothing really connected except for maybe blood. And I'm not saying that's not always the same for everybody either.
I don't know, because I know that Christina and I both also like have family things that we learned about as adults. And I have sometimes with like some of the stuff that I learned about my parents that like is fine. Like sometimes I feel fine about it, and sometimes I feel really fucked up about it. I really have to like examine what that means about me and like all these other things.
Totally.
So I think I don't know.
All relative, right?
It's all relative.
It's all relative.
And everyone kind of feels differently about that, about like what your parents actually mean, what that connection means, what like your ancestry means, or your genealogy or biology or any of that stuff.
Well, this links up to this week BTK's daughter.
Oh, did she?
I have that episode downstairs.
Yeah, she released her book basically about like what it is to like how you grapple with the fact that that's your father.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, you can say all day that, like, well, those are his sins and that has nothing to do with you. But, like, when you share genetics with somebody and, like, you find that out about them, like, for Kevin Aquan, I'm sure it's not that extreme, but it's like when you meet your birth mom and she has these views and she's this type of person, and that's your mom, like, who you share DNA with.
Right.
Like, I think you do start to be like, well, what does that say about me? Like what's going to come out in me later? And same thing like with BTK and like any of those things. It's like, they're capable of this. What am I capable of?
Right.
Is it something that just hasn't manifested in me yet? We don't understand, especially with like BTK. It's like we have such a limited understanding of what creates a person like that.
Right.
We don't know if it's nature or nurture. And I would be terrified.
Dude, that's so fucking bananas.
You know?
Yeah.
The BTK especially.
Speaking of, I can't wait for Mindhunter to come back on that fucking show.
Yes. I'm excited.
Very excited.
When does that come back?
Gosh, I don't know. I haven't heard a release date.
I'm ready.
I saw that guy who played BTK in that on a commercial.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, he definitely shot that commercial while he was shooting Mindhunter because he still had that mustache.
Oh, no.
And I was just like,
why
I
is
can't
BTK trying to sell me something?
Yeah, I'm like, you can't sell me Blue Bunny ice cream right now. Your mustache is very upsetting.
At least it wasn't a security alarm system company was trying to sell.
I'm like, no.
I'm not doing ADT.
No, thank you, sir.
No, thank you.
Gosh, I mean, learning about BTK will put you off of doing any of those security systems. I'm like, I'm going to learn how to do this myself.
Yeah.
No one's coming in my house to like...
Dude, dating puts you off of any of that. I mean, that text message this week, like I said, I consider myself like a really good judge of character. Mm-hmm. And I went out on like 4 dates this week with 4 strange people out into the world that could literally like find me if they so desired and harm me, you know?
Yeah.
And it just
Well, if you want something to lift your spirits, I was out in Portland this week riding with one of my reps who I shared with you a while ago, had shared some stories. Not the spaghetti burrito, but the other guy. And he's like, oh, I listened to the episode. And he goes, that single girl is fucking hilarious.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, I agree. She's fucking hilarious.
Oh, yay.
So if that lifts your spirits.
Trying not to get murdered out here. That's all.
Aren't we all?
Trying.
That's
Try not
the
to die.
ultimate goal.
I
I
don't
am
even have
so-
that as like a true love or like whatever. I just realized I'm just trying to like not get murdered.
Oh, man.
That is so sad.
That's how I feel traveling, dude. I swear to you, like, especially for some reason this week, I'm all like extra side eye on everyone. Like, you following me down this hallway? Are you getting on the elevator at the same time? I'm picking the wrong floor. And, so weird. But you never know.
I am so
Trust your gut.
deeply uncomfortable by people in general. Truly.
No,
Like,
I get it.
I don't want to be alone on an elevator with anyone. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. The small talk thing, I can't handle it. And then, like, sometimes I'm just like, going out would be fun. Flirting would be fun. Like, everything. All of that stuff immediately gets thrown out the window when I do something like a girls' night with you guys
Oh my
and
God,
get
that's so
approached
fun,
by like
though.
the weirdest fucking people. Yes.
That one guy was
girls'
super
night is
cute.
fun. Girls'
And
night is
he was
fun.
super respectable.
That guy was. The other guy was weird.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
When we
Girls'
went out.
night.
Girls' night.
Okay, so listeners,
weekend.
we went out last weekend
Did you
With
get hit on?
Vanessa- Yes.
twice.
Were you roofied that night? You don't remember
I
shit.
I don't
There
remember
was the guy. You
anything.
saved me one time. You and
Did I?
Vanessa. The one guy that came up to me and was like, "You look 24."
Okay, great. The little guy.
But yeah, so there was that guy who made like really creepy comments about my dimples, and thank God,
Yes.
like you guys.
Vanessa
stepped
was
in.
like,
Vanessa
that's a
stepped
really
in and
weird thing to say.
Shut that
And he
shit down.
left.
Yes, yeah, Vanessa.
I love Vanessa
Because I have the
the
tendency to just be like nice until people leave.
You're right. Yeah.
And Vanessa just stepped in and was like, no, that's a
No.
creepy thing to
No,
say.
sir.
Don't say that to people. And then like he left.
It was so good.
So I'm just like,
God.
if I'm ever Christina, like, man, being single sounds fun.
No.
But see,
it,
that's
it
the
doesn't
thing.
seem fun. It doesn't seem fun. It seems awful.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's,
Just remind me. Be like, you know what? Couples therapy sounds fun.
no, it really does. I'll take couples therapy any day over being single. Oh my God, dude. It's freaking so uncomfortable 99% of the time. And the 1%, it's actually super, super fun. They never text you back. So there you go.
Aw.
Anyways, this is my worst date.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Christina.
I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan. Hi.
Hey.
So fuck, marry, kill this week.
Oh, we didn't even think of one, did we?
No. I
We
feel-
haven't done the Batmans, and I've actually been.
But is that
thinking
like
about
a-
it.
I'm almost
Curse?
wondering if it's bad luck to do the Batmans because I'm like, every time we've done it, we've had to scrap the episode.
That's true. No, I'm checking the recording. I'm like, the recording looks good.
Okay.
Everything looks good.
Well, we can do that if you want to. I don't care. Whatever.
I really want to. I've
Okay.
been.
So
you've been
Christian
really,
Bale.
you've been really thinking about it. Okay.
Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, and George Clooney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Batmans. Okay.
I'll go.
Go for it.
Okay. So I am going to kill Clooney because that fucking costume,
The nipples.
you can't.
Yes.
I can't. And so if we're going by the Batmans, he's just least
He's
for
just
me.
not. He's just not very Batman.
He's not Batman.
I just don't- yeah.
That's
He's
the
very
problem
Bruce
with.
Wayne.
Yes, but he's just not
But he's
broody enough. Like
Yeah.
you don't. He's very Tony Stark. Like he should have been the '90s
Oh, totally.
Iron Man. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
see
Like
you.
that's
because
a good one.
he's got that kind of like cockiness about
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
But I need my Bruce Wayne to be a little broody.
Broody,
Yeah.
which is
And-
why I have to. I think I'm going to marry Bale and then fuck Keaton.
Okay, I am
And 'cause
going to.
I know Bale's extra broody, but
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So I am going to also kill Clooney as Batman. Not
It's the
Clooney
nipples.
in general.
He just-
Clooney in general seems like a great time.
yeah, we're
I
not
bet
talking
he's
about those guys.
very fun.
Yeah.
But Clooney Batman is a joke.
Yeah.
He's the cheesiest Batman since
It's
Adam
really
West.
the
I really
worst.
think. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, is he worse than Val Kilmer though?
Ooh,
worse.
Ooh, hot
I
take.
don't think he's worse, but I do
I
think
don't know.
he's
Val
goofier.
Kilmer, I didn't hate as much. I
Is
don't
the
think.
Val Kilmer the one with Dude Faces Robin? Puffy face.
Chris O'Donnell. What's his
Yeah.
name?
Yeah. I didn't hate that one as much. I must say it.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I think that Val Kilmer was a less cheesy Batman. I don't know that I liked him as Batman.
I hear you.
But George Clooney, the only cheesier Batman that I can think of is like Adam West was like a cheesier Batman.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so I'll kill George Clooney. I will like angry fuck Christian Bale because he's got some darkness in him that I'm willing to explore in the bedroom.
Got it.
Yeah. But, dealing with that kind of like moody, broody
Day in,
bullshit
day out.
day in, day out.
I feel like day in, day out, I would be like, get your shit together. Like, I
Oh,
just
it's-
want to watch
yeah.
fucking Friends. Like,
But
shut up. Like,
the end of the third episode though, or the third installment of that one, he's kind of like on vacation, kind of newly like, okay, I'm fucking out of this shit. Like,
I
okay.
feel like Christian Bale Batman can't live very long being happy. Like, I think he doesn't want to be happy. I think like,
My God, don't we all know a guy like that?
Yeah, you
That's,
don't
like,
wanna be
mood
happy. I'm just like,
swingy and
listen.
just like, and there's nothing worse than a moody fucking guy.
well, and I'm just like, I get it. You fucking listen to The Cure or whatever, but like, it's enough, And I
You're
also
like, oh, you like Boss. Good for you.
I understand your parents died in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult to cope with.
Therapy.
Go to therapy.
Go to therapy.
Maybe don't like lock yourself in a cave with bats to
Maybe.
get
Yeah.
over your issues. Like, fucking go
God.
to therapy.
That's not what we're supposed to do?
Is it a metaphor for like how men deal with their emotions instead of being like open and communicating with them?
They're Batman.
They're Batman.
They're all Batman.
They're all
They
Batman.
develop dual personalities where one of them is moody as fuck and annoying, and then the other one is like a straight rich fuckboy. Neither one of which I really want to be with long term.
Right.
Both of which I will have a one night stand with and be happy with.
yeah,
Because
there
his
you go.
body also
His
my
body
God.
is
Amazing.
Colin.
Amazing. What? I'm sorry?
Nothing.
nothing.
Hashtag mute R. Kelly.
It's hard. It's hard to do.
I'm sorry.
What did you say?
Nothing.
She started to quote an R. Kelly song but caught herself, which happened to me the other day too.
Listen, there's an adjustment period for all of us.
I know.
That's where we are. Honestly, sometimes Ignition plays in my head without me prompting it. It's
I
just
know.
part
It's-
of being.
How can you say body calling and not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's hard.
We're gonna work on it. We're
Yeah,
working on it.
We're in our own therapy.
It's okay. It's okay. We're here to support you.
So you're marrying Keaton?
But yeah, I'm gonna marry Keaton because I was never really like physically attracted to Keaton. I feel like our children will have massively curly hair in a way that is gonna be very difficult to deal with. But he seems like the kind of Batman that he's in it for the right reasons. I feel like he's not trying to work out a lot of personal shit like Bale is. He just wants some vigilante justice.
Yeah. He seems a little lighter.
He seems like he would let me watch Friends on the couch.
Yeah.
He would join me. He can take a night off.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, he's not full-time Batman.
Yeah. Like you can take a night off.
His
We
Bruce
can go-
Wayne's way chiller.
We can go see a movie, and you still have all the money.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's
there
fine.
you go.
The only downside with Keaton is like you're gonna have to fucking fight Michelle Pfeiffer, and like
I can't win that battle.
I don't think I can win
bitch
that.
wins every time.
She's
'cause
real
she
hot.
Is fucking
Smoking
hot.
hot. Yeah,
Oh,
she's beautiful.
especially in that.
Yeah.
Oi.
I wanted to be Vicky Vale so bad. I had the biggest crush on Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah?
The biggest. It's one of my first crushes. I remember that.
That's so
Nice.
funny to me.
David Bowie in Labyrinth.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the very first
That's a
first
sexual
one.
funny
awakening
because
for most people.
We watched Deceived for the next movie that we're going to do for our Patreon patrons.
Mm-hmm.
And my first ooh, that guy's hot crush was the
John
guy.
Hurd.
Yeah, John Hurd. Dude, I had such
Dude,
a crush
he's
on
hot.
him.
It's 90s hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those pleated
Ooh,
pants.
they did something.
Ooh.
something.
They're horrible.
But yeah,
Pleated
I'm gonna do the same. I'm marrying Keaton. I'm gonna fuck Christian Bale.
In fact, we can make that it doesn't have to be a one night stand with Christian Bale. I feel like that's the
Yeah.
kind of thing where like you pretend to hate him in public, but then you like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and you're like, meet me outside.
You Catwoman him.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you
Anne
up?
Hathaway him. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You up. eggplant.
Yeah.
Just that.
Just
tongue emoji, water emoji.
Thirsty.
Peach.
Exactly. And yeah, I'm killing Clooney.
Yeah.
Hot take. I don't think he's hot.
What?
You mean Clooney, like Clooney's not?
Christina, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
I'm sorry.
This is unacceptable behavior. In
I
my
know.
home.
I
will
don't
say-
know
We
why.
do
I
not-
do not think he's cute.
I
It's
will
not my
say
type.
growing up, whenever...
Wow.
Okay, so here's, I was a child, like a literal child.
Next thing we know, it's Brad Pitt. She doesn't like either.
Oh, no,
No,
she
I
loves
love
Brad
Brad
Pitt.
Pitt.
Yeah, we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
But when I was... Like Clooney was big when I was like a child, like in the 90s. And child me looking at all the grown women go like bananas over Clooney. I was like, don't get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But adult me, I'm like, no, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah, I get
I'm
it.
like, I get
I
it.
just think he's
He's
just
funny. He's
seems
charming.
You know what it is? It is. He's that self-deprecating humor, which
Yeah.
we know I love so much. He can laugh at himself. He's the kind of guy who is a 10, but because of his self-deprecating humor, because of his
George Clooney is the guy I should be going after dating.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm raking in Christian Bale after Christian Bale. I'm raking in brooding, moody little fuck boys. And
Yeah.
I need a Clooney because Clooney's are who you're supposed to end up with.
Yeah.
You're all supposed to find your Clooney
Or a Keaton, honestly.
or a Keaton.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, totally a Keaton.
But
Yeah.
no, I'm over here just stacking up bales.
Look, I'm the one who married Bale in this scenario, so let's just go to there. I
She's
mean,
like,
I don't
go
know.
easy. I
Yeah,
married him.
wow.
Yeah, that was a
Yikes,
choice I made.
That
Yeah.
is a
But
that
yeah.
was a hot take.
Hot take is spicy.
I mean, listen, on the plus side, Bale most likely to accidentally get himself killed in a situation, in which case you inherit all
There you
that
go.
Wayne money.
shit.
So
There you
like,
go.
I'm not. Look,
there's a
we
silver
know
lining.
we know how much I love money. So
There we go.
Although you know
silver
what?
lining.
Although you know what? Bale Batman seems like the type to leave all his money
yeah.
to Alfred, and you get nothing.
and some charity.
yeah.
Yeah, dick.
You're like, I fucking stuck through your goddamn
Yeah.
mood swings. I held your head in my lap while you cried about your fucking parents, and now you leave me nothing because you went
You
off and got yourself
piece of
fucking
shit.
killed. Like, Jesus
But
Christ.
Alfred seems like the kind of guy who would hook you up, though. He'd be like,
He
"Dude,
would.
you were here
He
for.
would.
You know what? Here's a couple.
He'd be like, just keep me on as the
Yeah.
butler. Let me keep living here, and like,
Yeah,
we'll call it Evesies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Another hot take.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh,
I'm
no.
scared.
I know. This is very.
I'm revealing a lot about myself.
I know.
I have a little bit of a thing for Michael Caine.
Oh, that's fine.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Kind of an Old Spice guy.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
kind
that.
That's
of.
what we got to do. Is we got to go back to some of our like who we picked before, like who's your Old Spice guys, and
Because I
like
feel
do
like-
a FMK for some of those.
I feel like the
Yeah.
Old Spices we chose before weren't old enough because it was like Keegan.
I chose Pierce Brosnan.
Okay, but like we
He's pretty fucking old.
chose Brad Pitt and Keanu Reeves. Like they're not that old.
But they're
Yeah.
Old Spices to you guys.
But
They're
yeah, we
not
should,
that
we
old.
should, we
But
should go like
like
old.
a
Like
Jeff-
Michael Caine is
Michael
old.
Caine. Michael Caine is
that's real Old
old.
Spice. That's Grandpa Spice.
That's Grandpa
Patrick
Spice.
Patrick Stewart. That's
Ooh,
another
that's
old.
Grandpa
There's
Spice.
one.
That's an Old
Sean
Spice.
Connery is old.
Yeah.
That's
Or
funny.
like, I mean,
Super
even
old,
this one would probably be mine. I'm not sure he's old enough to be my grandpa. Probably not. But Jeff Goldblum,
Oh yeah,
he's old. He's like in his 60s.
dude. Totally love Jeff Goldblum.
Just saying, he could be a young
Yeah.
grandpa. He could be my young grandpa.
Dirty grandpa.
Yeah, I like
So
it.
I'm just saying, I'm into it. I'm into it.
There you go.
I feel like
So-
we got some sidebar to talk about as
I
soon as we hit pause. Why don't we take a break?
I know. I know. I actually, I have an off-air story about that.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to take 5, and we'll be right back with stories.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
So do we want to shout out our patrons really quick? We have a brand new
Yes.
patron that I want to say a special shout out to. Her name is Anna Cooperstein. We want to thank you so much. Her and I have been emailing back and forth this week, and we're super, super grateful. The first email that she sent just saying that she had also gone through a divorce and everything, and it really hit me this week in a really great way, and that's exactly, I guess I don't think about me like talking shit, like actually quote unquote helping anybody or even making someone laugh or making them smile on a day. And it was just a really cool reminder of, you know, putting yourself out there is not only like helping me to heal, but it's also like making somebody smile or laugh in their car and stuff. And so that was really nice. So thank you, Anna, for joining our club.
Yes, thank you, Anna. We also have another patron named Jay.
Yeah.
We don't have a last name from Jay, but you know who you are.
You know who you are, Jay. And I'm actually
you.
going to read his story today, so we have a little shout out for him.
He submitted a story.
Yeah.
So thank you.
No, I'm going to do that on the shorty. Sorry. I'm doing that on our shorty episode. But yes, Jay did send us. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
So thank you so much, Jay, for joining our Patreon. We are so happy to have you as a patron. If you guys want to check out what's going on over there on Patreon, we have bonus content. We have, if you're at the $10 or more level, we do a Crazy in Love movie every month. That's super fun. And we're getting ready to post our next one. It might be up by the time this episode comes out. So yeah, come in and hit us up over there. It is My Worst Date on Patreon, or you can find us on our website, myworstdatepodcast.com. And if you scroll to the bottom of the homepage, there's a direct link to our Patreon. And we're back.
Yeah. All right, Keegan, you're starting us off.
Okay, so this is always fun when I read a story that I haven't read yet. So this will be a surprise to me as well.
Oh my God,
we're like that.
All going on a journey.
Which could go many different ways. Let's find out. Okay, so we've established that my new iPhone can't recognize my face while I'm talking. Fantastic. Okay. Hey, ladies. Love the podcast. I listen at work and always have to try and muffle my laughter in our quiet office. Oh, that is so cute. Oh my God, have we not all been there? Like when I worked in cubicles, like now I work like in an office, but when I worked in cubicles like out on the floor, I would always be listening. I went through a phase where I listened to like a shit ton of stand-up.
Yeah.
And you have that moment where you're doing the most insane thing you've ever done, which is like silent laughter, where like your whole face is red and like your shoulders are shaking up and down, but you're making no noise because you don't want to draw any attention to yourself.
I did that this week when I was reading. I told you guys about that crazy fucking story I found on Reddit, and I was just like, I was just shaking, and like tears streaming down my face.
It's the funniest, like trying to like hold your laughter in. I hope that we've made you laugh that hard. I don't know if we have, but I hope so. I hope you've experienced that kind of joy with this podcast. All right. My sister listens too, and we laugh over the crazy stories together. Anyways, here's my story.
Yay.
I had just moved to the small college town about a year and a half before this all happened. There was this boy I had seen around town, but had never actually met. He was gorgeous.
Nice.
I feel like when you use the word gorgeous, we all know exactly what that means. Like it's like not hot or like sexy, but like gorgeous.
Like a 10.
Yes.
Generality is the enemy of art. So it's literally specific. I know what you're saying when you say a hot guy. I know what you're saying when you say cute guy.
Right.
I know what you're saying when you say gorgeous
guy.
If
that's a beautiful man. And I know exactly what that means. Yeah. Okay. He was in a band. Oh, God. Here
even
we go.
better.
And had a bad boy reputation around town. Gorgeous. In a band. Bad boy reputation. Ticking off all my boxes.
I know. I'm like.
All the college boxes.
All of the, like, high school, just out of high school boxes.
Are you kidding? That's my Wednesday night.
Yeah.
That's your Christian Bale. Oh,
I know.
No.
Where is this going?
Oh, no. Of course, that was all 20-year-old me needed to know about him to start crushing hard over this complete stranger. Amen. Mm-hmm. Then at my job at the time, we hired this new girl. She was a total badass. We hit it off pretty quickly and became friendly. After a few weeks working together, it gets brought up that she is close friends with the bad boy I was crushing on. Got an in, girl, you got an in. I end up telling her that I think he is just so dreamy or whatever. She offers to set us up, so obviously I agree. She told him about me and asked if he was interested in meeting me. He said yes. The plan was for her to have a party at her house with some of their friends, and I would be there too so she could introduce us. I love that. I love when you're like 20 and you're like, okay, here's the plan. You're going to have a party specifically for the two of us to meet, but you have to invite 20 other people so it seems natural. I love that. The night of the party comes and I show up at her house at the same time she told me to be there. When I show up, I am the only one there besides her and her roommate. No, awkward.
Oh, no.
But she says, no big deal. It was still early and she was a cool chick, so we just hung out for a while. After about an hour, she gets a call from her friends, which includes the boy I was there to see. And they are out at a bar and they want her to come and join them. I was just barely 20 at the time, so I couldn't go to any bars.
Oh, man.
She tells me that she will go there and pick them up, and they can all come back to her house since that was the plan.
Oh, no.
Also, I love it that, like, when you're 20, you're like, it's a party. And I'm like, this isn't a party. This is just people hanging out. Like, it's a post-bar hangout.
It's supposed to be a party.
I had some friends that lived a few blocks away, so I went over to their house while she went to retrieve her friends from the bar. 2 hours go by, and I haven't heard a word from her. I text her to see what's going on. My money's on she hooked up with this guy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I thought that from the beginning.
Yes. Badass chick, gorgeous bad boy. Come on. They're
hooking up.
I texted her to see what was going on and if I should just go home and call it a night. She tells me they're still at the bar, but insists they will be back at her house soon. I end up going back to her house when they all get back from the bar. Cue the shit show.
Oh, no.
Keep in mind, this boy knew I was only there because I was interested in meeting up with him.
Oh, that's not good.
No, don't give him that kind of power.
Don't give him that power.
You gave him
you
that
don't
power.
give a fuck about him.
You keep that power to yourself.
Yes.
Well, he is basically blackout drunk when they all arrive back from the bar. Sexy. Then he proceeds to start chugging Jack Daniels out of the bottle.
Oh, my God.
That's a 21-year-old
Yikes.
move.
Yeah.
That's gross. Then he sits down on the couch and starts puking all over himself.
Oh.
It all happened within minutes. I never even got a chance to introduce myself or even make eye contact with him before this all went down.
Oh. Dude, crush averted.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's just like, thank you for showing your true colors. What were we just saying?
Exactly.
I didn't even have a chance to introduce myself. Good, you don't know my name.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
After he vomits on himself, his friends carry him off to the bathroom and put him in the shower so he can clean up.
Ugh.
Still have not even said a word to him yet. Girl, you don't need to.
You don't need to.
Yeah, you can leave. You're scot-free.
This is your sign from the universe.
Yes.
Then he starts yelling my name from the shower.
What?
Keep in mind, she has not introduced herself. Great. I just ignore it and pretend I can't hear anything.
Yep.
But it was a small house and we could all hear him. Then he sends his friend out of the bathroom to come get me so we could talk. No. No. I went down the hall and just stood outside the bathroom door to see what he wanted. I like it that she's like, I'm good right here. I don't need to come in there. We're fine.
What do you need? Roll of toilet paper?
I'm gonna send someone Gatorade, a bucket.
A bucket.
The bathroom door was wide open and he proceeds to ask me multiple times to get in the shower with him.
No.
Somehow I was able to resist getting in the shower with the drunk, puke-covered guy in front of his friends.
Somehow.
After the shower, he passed out in his friend's bed for the rest of the night, and I went home. He got my number from my coworker that was setting us up, and coworker.
Listen.
That is some bad wing woman shit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's a no.
And sent me a text the next day apologizing for his behavior the night before. Blame it on me being new and naive to the dating world, but I ended up casually dating him for the next 6 months.
Oh.
I was definitely dickmatized,
Yep.
and I thought I was going to be the one to fix him. The whole experience.
20.
We've all been there.
Yep.
I'm not even.
Girl, I've been dickmatized before too. I know.
And I don't even have to
I
be
know.
dickmatized. Listen, I did this for guys I wasn't even fucking when I was 20. Come
I
on.
hear
Like,
ya.
I'm like that
was just-
Coldplay song. If you try your best and you don't succeed.
Oh my God.
That's me. That's my fucking motto, dude. Are you broken in some way? Oh, I
can
have to fix you.
I can fix you.
I can fix you.
You know, it's just playing on loop in your brain.
my brain.
I mean, and also, I'm like, again, guys I'm not even sleeping with because keep in mind, 20 years old, gorgeous. She used the word gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We don't,
Bad
I
boy.
don't need
In a
to be
band.
Bad boy.
gorgeous in a band. I don't need to be having sex
Yeah.
with you to be like, I'm going to stick this out for 6
Yeah.
months and try and fix
Absolutely.
you.
We got this.
Yeah.
We can work in this together.
Good
Yeah.
on you for getting out after 6 months.
Honestly.
Yeah,
honestly.
At least you didn't have his baby. It
Yeah.
could have been
Oh,
worse. Could have been worse.
Amen. Well, we didn't finish the story yet. Maybe she
Oh,
did. I don't
shit.
know.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Getting ahead of myself. The whole experience ended up being awful and full of every red flag imaginable. I felt like I was going crazy. He would not show up for dates, ditch me to get drunk with the guys, tell me how into me he was, but that he couldn't be exclusive.
Oh my God.
Date other women that I had mutual friends with
No!
at the same time as me.
Oh,
But even though it bothered me,
Oh my
I
God.
felt I couldn't get too mad since we weren't exclusive.
I feel like
Oh
I know
God.
this guy.
I feel like I know this girl. It finally ended when I got on Facebook one day and saw that he was in a relationship with another woman. Oh,
Oh,
it hurts.
my God.
It hurt since I had just seen him a few days before, but to me, that was it. We were done. He finally committed to someone. He tried to reach out to me and I kept
No.
ignoring him, which again, don't do that. Listen, you know why she walked away from you. Don't
Yeah.
try and play this nice guy card of being like, "Are you okay?"
No, guys
sorry
like
I hurt
guys
you.
like that
Ugh.
are always fucking zombies.
Fuck you.
Always fucking just like reaching that
Coming
dead
right back
fucking
at-
hand.
They want to keep you on that
through
hook.
the ground,
Yep.
and it's like they always need to have somebody on the hook.
Ew.
Zombie
Gross.
for sure.
I tried. He tried to reach out to me, and I kept ignoring him since he now had a girlfriend, and I wasn't going to cross that line. Good for you.
Good for you.
About 2 weeks after that, I ran into him out in public, and he asked me why I kept ignoring him. Like, bitch, what? Do you need to ask that?
Oh my god.
Be decent and just
fuck?
pretend you don't see each other in the grocery store. That's what
Exactly.
decent people do. I said, "Well, you have a
really
girlfriend
pressing
now."
broccoli to get.
I'm really fascinated by this cauliflower. I can't look up
so
from
good.
it as you walk by. I said, "Well, you have a girlfriend now." He just looked confused, like he had no idea what I was talking about.
Oh my
I had to
God.
explain to him that we were not going to see each other anymore because he had a girlfriend now, and that wasn't something I wanted to be a part of. He was so confused. He really didn't understand why I didn't want to keep seeing him. Thankfully, I now know that there is so much more to look for in a partner than just being ridiculously good looking.
Yeah.
Amen.
Really, really ridiculously
Really?
good looking.
Really ridiculously good looking. More than just a date story, sorry, but what was I thinking? Oh, well, live and learn, I guess.
No,
So-
dude,
so-
6 months, like I said, is a small price to pay.
Yeah.
Sounds like, she got off easy. For some people, I mean,
She escaped that.
Well,
She really
I mean,
did.
and to be honest, like stronger probably than I would have been at 20. Like
Amen.
if he had
Yeah.
zombied his way back into my life,
Oh, yeah.
and been like, we can keep talking, I probably would have been like, what's the harm? We'll just be friends. Or
Exactly.
whatever.
Just be
no, this chick's a
friends.
badass chick. If that's what she was like at 20, was able
Yeah.
to be like, no,
Yeah,
you have a
cut that
girlfriend.
cord.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
for you, man.
Yeah.
Good for her.
You're a badass.
And
bitch.
also, for the record, if you have a story that's not just a dating story, but is like a relationship story, send those in. We want those too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
all right. So
A bad date can last for 6 months. Some of them last years.
I just bit my tongue.
Yep.
Yes. Well, okay. Ours came in from an email. She says, a little background. I had seen Chad, which, by the
Oh.
way, thank you for putting Chad in
Amazing.
quotes and for using the word Chad. Because,
word Chad.
Yeah.
To any Chads out there who are
Poor
like
Chad.
real nice
Yeah.
CPAs or whatever, like decent dudes, I'm so sorry.
It's the That's what bothers
It's
me.
a hard
It's
A. It's a real long hard A.
It's
Yeah,
like,
it sounds like you're whining.
That's your name. Chad.
It always reminds
My
me
name's
of
Cassie. Okay,
Cassie.
so let's.
No, it's not. But
It's
it's,
not the
not,
same.
Chad.
No.
It's the
It
in
always
it.
reminds me of what was that? Is it Pretty in Pink? Whenever Molly Ringwald starts dating Andrew McCarthy and his name is Blaine
Oh.
or something like that. And
Yes.
Ducky,
Blaine
her
is-
friend Ducky is like, Blaine, it sounds like an appliance. And I'm like, yes.
Blaine was such the '80s douchebag name.
Yeah.
It was.
In our school, it was Blake.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
same.
We had a lot of Balaques.
Black A's. So she says, I had seen Chad on Tinder before, but hadn't swiped right. One sunny Sunday afternoon, I was hanging out at a bar with a few girlfriends, and there he was. at a table with his boys. He was cuter in person. Almost never happens, by the way.
Almost never happens.
0 times.
Although, can I say, I think I'm cuter in person than I am in pictures.
Yeah.
So
You
I'm
take
just
great
like,
pictures, though. So.
Yeah. No, I don't know what I am, but people always say you don't look like your pictures, and I'm not quite sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But, so she goes, I couldn't muster up the courage to talk to him in person, so I just swiped right the next time he popped up on Tinder, and we matched. After some flirtatious back and forth, he invited me to join him and his friends at a bar that night. That's tough. A first date with friends?
Don't include your fucking friends on our first date.
Although I just did that not that long ago. With
Okay,
dude
but
face.
we're awesome.
Yes.
And
No, that's true.
I'm going to hang out with him on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
And also, can I also say, in addition to that, he invited himself out.
He
Yeah,
kind
you
of
just
did
said
invite
okay.
himself. Yes.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, sure, that's fine.
This is fine.
This is fine. Although she says, although I wouldn't recommend a group first date, it actually worked out. At some point, we walked over to the bar to grab some more drinks when I tripped on a step in my leg accentuating high heels and was this close to eating it all over the gravel when he grabbed my waist and saved me. I felt his strong arms around me and have mercy.
That's rom-com
Oh.
sexy. Have
It
mercy
is.
indeed. Yes.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
like, hey. At the end of the evening, we went back to his place and had sex all night in caps. Girl. Oh.
Get
So when does this story turn around? 'Cause
Yeah.
right
I
now
know,
I'm feeling
I'm
So
pretty good
far,
about
so
it.
fucking good.
This is the best date. That's a different podcast.
Yeah.
The following morning, I went straight to book club. When someone asked me how the night was, I blurted out triumphantly, I was having sex all night. I didn't even have time to wash my hair.
The person sitting next to her just like scoots over like 6 inches.
Oh my God. It's so funny. I've had that night and it's the best. Later, as I was sitting on one of the host's beautiful dining chairs, I wondered if I should have clarified for her that I actually did take a shower. I just didn't wash my hair.
Yes, you should have.
No, I'm actually clean, but yeah. Okay. I spent the next 2 months hooking up with Chad. Were there red flags along the way? Yes.
Chad.
Oh,
Chad
no.
being his name, being the first red flag.
I think that was in a quote, Chad.
That's right.
Yeah. Did
Sorry.
I ignore them? Also, yes. One example, one morning in bed, he tried to persuade me that I was wearing the wrong cup size. And no, he never worked at Victoria's Secret. Okay,
Pause. Are you
tidbit.
mansplaining bras to me?
Are you fucking
Yes.
mansplaining my fucking titties that I've had my whole fucking life?
Listen,
Excuse me.
Chad.
Unless you're saying your titties are beautiful, that's all you have to
Your
say about
titties
them.
look great in that bra.
I want to grab your titties, put your titties in my mouth. That's all you need to say about
Yeah,
those.
that's it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
Do not.
Can I come on your titties?
Yes, exactly. That's it.
That's it.
Gosh, that's even
it.
nice. You're asking permission.
Exactly. But oh my God, with the bra size,
Get
like,
outta here.
Oh my God, how that? Don't
Get
critique
the
that.
fuck
Don't
outta
critique
here.
And
clothes in general.
and there are also just like a few things that I'm just like, you don't get to mansplain my bra, my vagina. Like there are certain things that I'm just like, you don't get to try and tell me how this works. Okay.
Right. Come on.
Then she goes, but none of the red flags could hold a candle to our last date.
Oh, shit.
Chad and I were getting ready for my friend Cindy's 30th birthday party. She had been dreading her 30th and had just broken her arm, and all of our friends were determined to lift her spirits.
Good friends.
Yes.
I was doing my hair and playing my jams, and he kept trying to make me watch some powerlifting video.
What?
He was cramping my style, but I was trying to be nice.
Typical Chad.
Ugh, what a
Because
Chad.
I knew he'd been a personal trainer back in the day. I mean, all Chads are.
Yeah.
I mean,
Amen.
Yeah.
they're all into lifting. We know that.
I'm going to need him to legally change his name so that everyone knows.
So everyone
Everyone
knows.
knows. We need to know.
Don't
So-
trick us with a fucking Josh or whatever the fuck your actual name is. Should be Chad.
So I started asking questions about the fitness competition he had been in. All of a sudden, he says, "Hey, I can train you."
Oh.
We had never discussed anything remotely close to this topic. I have my own fitness regimen. I'm happy with my body, and I have zero interest in this unsolicited offer. So I respond, since you're having sex with my amazing body, I'm sure there's nothing about it you need to change, right?
Sips.
Can I
tea.
be friends with you?
I know.
please?
Here's his response. He wastes that opportunity to redeem himself and says, well, of course, but we'll make you even more amazing. We'll get you into the gym with some weights.
Get
Okay.
the fuck
Okay.
outta
I'm going to put
here.
a pin in this story and tell you
Oh,
that this has definitely happened to me
are you kidding?
with somebody.
I'm
Yes. Yes. It has happened to me. And it is so fucking damaging. First of all, this person also knew that I have like crippling fucking self-esteem issues, and the fact that we used to have to like announce our weight at my old job
Yeah,
in front of
yeah.
everybody, that people were on diet pills and doing all kinds of crazy
Dumb
stuff.
shit, yeah.
So like, unless you have anything to say about my body except like, I like
You look fucking
fucking
amazing.
it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you look amazing, like then get the fuck out. Don't fucking say anything about
Right.
it. And I get it that you're into fitness and you fucking love it or whatever, but I don't need that
Well, I
shit.
mean,
I
and-
don't need that shit.
I'm into
at
fitting
all.
my fist in your mouth.
Regardless of that, like, I mean, every woman is acutely aware. I mean, I think most people are acutely aware, to be honest, and we all live in our bodies, but women in particular, like, we get messages constantly,
Right.
everywhere, in the media,
Yep.
all the time,
I know I don't have a six pack.
telling us what our bodies are supposed to look
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're all acutely aware of what our bodies look like. Like, we live in them. Like, we
So
know.
acutely aware.
If you think we have flaws, we're very aware of what the world perceives
Whatever
to be
flaw
our
you
flaws.
see, I've seen 100.
Right.
Exactly.
We know.
Exactly.
So you do not need to bring it up to us. I fucking would never. I would never. Not to my friends, not to my
No.
partner, not to anyone would
No.
I ever be like, this is something you could work on. Like,
No.
fuck off.
Never, 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 never. And it's, I don't know if it's like a guy thing or what it is, if that's like, if they just don't get it. But I'm like, I'm giving you something that is so personal to you. Like, I am revealing my naked body to you.
Yeah.
I'm letting you do things to my naked body. You need to respect it.
And
you
you're
need to
seeing
worship
it in
it.
all
and you need
manner
to
of shapes.
Exactly.
Like, you're pushing legs up. You're
Yeah,
seeing
you are.
rolls that don't exist when I'm standing up straight.
How am I supposed to like
Yeah.
enjoy like fucking you now? If
I'm
I'm thinking,
scared,
if I'm
yeah.
thinking in my head, oh, he wants me to lift weights now.
Right.
Now you're
Yes.
introducing insecurity
Yes.
into something that wasn't there. Like, we were having fun, having sex, and I was like, I like his body, he likes my body. But now
Yeah.
you've introduced this whole new level of
He wishes
like,
I looked different.
He wishes I looked different, and now I don't enjoy sex with
And
you anymore.
By the way, like, I do that to myself enough.
Thank you.
Like, I'm with
Exactly.
someone who like loves my body and like thinks that my body is beautiful in all the ways that it's like changed throughout the years and all of that stuff. I see my naked body and judge it myself enough. Like,
so
Yeah.
literally, I
don't
read
need you
that
doing
and I
it.
Not at all.
fucking cringed.
yeah.
But this is how great of a boss bitch this chick is,
God.
because
Be my friend.
Get it, girl.
she cuts him off and says, actually, Cindy's my only trainer, so you'll have to take it up with her tonight. Which was true. A few years back, Cindy had trained me as I was getting back into working out. Jokingly, I texted Cindy to get ready for a conversation with Chad about training me. But by the time we arrived at the birthday party, Cindy was happily buzzed.
Yes.
And this was the first time I was
I love
bringing
Friends.
Chad around.
I love Friends.
I know. And as soon
Cindy's ready. She's got notes on her phone.
I know.
She's like bullet points.
as
Here's all the
soon
things.
as I introduced him, Cindy went in for the kill.
Girl, yes.
She told him she had been a college swimmer, had trained a lot of people, and while it could be a great thing for couples to train together in a class or with a third-party trainer, it was never a good idea to train the person you're dating because it creates an unhealthy imbalance in the relationship.
Amen. Power dynamic imbalance.
She's also a therapist. I love this woman.
I love everything about it. It's
this is the
exactly
best.
right.
I'm sorry. Do they live
So-
in LA? Can
Right.
we
Can we
like
be
merge
friends?
friend groups? Can we have
We
a girl
could.
night?
I know.
Because we could have, it would be epic.
Cindy, can you train me? Because you're amazing. Chad put his hands in his pockets and said defensively, well, I was a college athlete too, so I know how to train people.
You're missing the point.
I can't handle a woman telling me anything.
No, I mansplain bra size.
Ugh. the fuck out of
Cindy
here.
tried to soften the blow by saying, look, I'm sure both of you are competitive, so it's just better to avoid conflict.
Amen.
Chad
Oh,
quickly
Cindy.
said, oh, that's okay because Emma isn't competitive.
Bitch, what?
Cindy's eyes got big. My dear blitzed friend,
Yes.
nursing a broken arm at
Love
her
her.
own birthday party, didn't waste a second putting him in his place.
Good.
Pointing a finger at him, she said, I've known Emma a long time. She wouldn't have gotten into a great school and become a lawyer if she didn't like to win.
Yes.
So you should know she is competitive and you should not underestimate her. I'm like, I read that and I was like, that is something any of our friend
Yes.
group would do.
You're fucking
In a
throwing
minute.
confetti right now.
I
Like,
know.
That shit's amazing.
I know.
Oh.
I just saw like Salt Bay.
Yeah. She dropped the mic on that conversation
did.
and
She was like,
walked away. Yeah.
His ego must have been wounded beyond repair because that was the last night we hung out. The next day, each of us made a piddling attempt at making plans, neither committed, and we both just let the whole thing go peacefully into that good night. If there's any moral to this story, fuck boys come and go, but good friends are forever.
Fucking yes.
Men.
And also, can we just address how massively insecure Chad is?
Yeah.
Like, if you are that insecure, you can't stand to have your masculinity threatened in any way.
Yeah.
That's your fucking reaction to that situation. It's like, that's
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Come the fuck on.
Well, thank God for friendship, man. That's just like it really
So true.
such a good fucking story. And like I said, that thing about him like wanting like having comments about training her and stuff, I was like, no, shut
It makes me
it down.
sad.
Oh,
It makes
fuck
me
outta
sad
here.
for whichever girl he dates next who's like gonna like fall into that shit.
Because it is.
Totally.
Cindy was
Yeah.
completely correct in that it creates this unhealthy power
It's not
dynamic.
necessary.
It's
Yeah.
not necessary where then it's just a fucking mess.
Yeah, it's
So
levels.
Leave it alone. The only
Yeah.
comments you have about your partner's body is it's amazing and I want to fuck it.
Yeah.
The
Well,
end.
So this is from an email that we got from Kate from About Face Podcast. Yeah, so we're super excited. She says, I was living in the Mission in San Francisco when I just turned 30 and feeling really old, like I needed to try some serious dating, which meant getting my ass on OkCupid. This was I like OkCupid was the serious dating app. This was pre-Tinder when there was still a bit of stigma around online dating, and yet it seemed like the next step in finding someone serious. But I met this guy online who was cute, kind of a surfer dude with a really enthusiastic but high energy, frenetic energy. Yeah, kind of high energy guy. We wrote a lot.
I don't know if I like that or
I know.
not.
I know.
But,
I'm like-
part of me is like, ooh, sounds fun. And then another part of me is just like, what kind of high energy?
Yeah.
Are we talking about
She does
like,
say frenetic energy.
like
so.
Rob Lowe in Parks and Rec, kind of like too aggressive? Like, are you very aggressily cheerful?
Right.
I don't want that at all.
Oh, God.
Rob Lowe. I love Rob
Rob
Lowe's
Lowe in
character.
Parks and Rec, he's just like, it's like running on like 11 all the time.
all the time. We wrote a lot before we met up, and he seemed interesting, but still questionable. We agreed to get coffee, which felt non-committal and safe. When he got there, he seemed like he had already had about 6 espressos or like 10 lines of Coke.
Oh, Jesus.
And before he even sat down, he was all wired like, "Hey, hi, I can't have any coffee. I don't want to sit here anymore. Can we go? I'm actually hungry. Can we go to dinner instead?" And I was like,
Is he on Coke? He
I
sounds
know.
like he's on fucking meth right now.
I
Are you
know.
okay?
She's like, this guy is already weird, and I really don't want to eat or be stuck in a restaurant, but okay, fine. I didn't really feel like I had a choice, so we walked to a restaurant down the street. So we go to this Thai place, and he orders a curry or whatever, and while he's eating, I had a beer or something, and he's just high energy cokehead rambling. He starts asking me about my past relationships, and at some point he stops me and got really serious, and he put down his fork and says, "Wait, you aren't a virgin?"
What?
I thought he was joking.
Motherfucker.
So I laughed like, okay, not really funny, but haha. His face gets dead serious, and he said again, "Wait, you're not a virgin?
Oh,
How many guys have you slept with? 1, 2?"
None of your business. We're
He's
done
holding up
here.
his fingers, counting on his hand, and I'm still blank staring at him. When he got to 5, he held up his hand in my face and said, 5? You slept with more than 5 guys?
Oh my
Get the fuck out
God.
of here.
I want to meet this guy because I'll make his fucking head explode.
Same,
Kinda
same.
Like, I slept with 5 guys last week, motherfucker.
Same.
Peace
oh,
out.
well, I
Come
didn't, but
at
not
me.
last
No,
week.
I
but
didn't
yeah,
either. That's
no.
hyperbolic. But
Yeah.
even still,
Yeah.
even if I
Fuck
did,
you.
fuck you, I
None of
did.
your business. Oh my God, I saw this meme that was like, Salt and Peppa didn't write none of your business for a...
Oh, I know. And I was like, I'm feeling this.
Yes.
I'm like, that's the reason why I knew all the words to that fucking song at 12 years old. I was like, I don't slut shame. That's ridiculous.
Ugh.
No, that's fucked up.
She says, I was about to say, what the fuck? But then he started laughing. Oh, you should have seen that look on your face. That was good. It
No,
was weird.
no.
It
Okay.
wasn't funny at all. He was super weird. So I was ready to leave and asked for the bill. Then he said, oh shit, you know what? I don't have my wallet.
Fuck
Can you pay
you.
for this? I was like, dude, what the fuck? You are such a freak and a loser. But I guess I'll pay any amount of money to get out of here. So I paid the bill, bought his dinner basically, and he said, wait, I want to get my wallet so I can pay you. My wallet is in there and I can pay you back. We were still walking toward my place where I guess his van was also parked. Van. That sounds no. And he says, okay, it's in this big van and there
Why
aren't any
do you-
windows.
Nope.
And
Nope.
there's big
Nope.
cages
I'm
in
good.
the back.
I don't need my
I have
$20.
Many things to talk about this story. First of all,
He says, I know it's weird, but they're for my dogs. Don't worry.
we're beyond worried at this moment.
We're not concerned. We're
Yeah,
not worried.
I'm
We're
fucking
fucking terrified.
Good.
Yeah.
We're
don't need-
all terrified of being Ted Bundy'd, so I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
But also, can we talk about like pranks? I don't fucking like
No.
pranks.
No.
I'm not here for fucking
No.
pranks.
No, you
Yeah, I
know,
don't know that.
you know how I feel about pranks
Hate
because I have no
pranks.
retaliation factor, right?
Oh.
I don't know what level is the right retaliation. Oh, you fucking played a joke on me. I killed your family. Haha, we
I
got
just-
you back. Got you good, you fucker. Like, I don't get it. I do not fucking play pranks on me.
I don't think pranks are funny.
Not
I don't
funny.
think they're funny. You pretending to be like appalled by like me sleeping with 5 people. It's not funny to me.
No,
I'm
not
like,
funny. Not a joke.
because you
No,
just
it's
put me
not
on.
funny.
Anyone who has anxiety can't deal
Yes.
with pranks.
No.
Right.
Like
Same.
I
Nope.
cannot.
Nope, nope,
Yeah,
nope.
that's
So-
not funny. I don't like that sense of humor either.
No.
I really don't.
It's real
No.
douchey.
It is douchey.
Yeah.
It's like you're laughing at making somebody feel bad.
And then I'm
that's
like,
low. I'm like,
I hate it. I hate that.
So fucking weird.
And then I'm like, do you have 20 dogs? Why do you need a van?
a van with cages in the back? Yeah,
Because
I'm
I know
fucking
lots
worried.
of people who have dogs, and you don't.
Also,
need a
I know you're
fucking
pranking
van.
humor. I don't need to be in
Yeah,
this prank
exactly.
either. Thank you
No.
very much.
He's
Ooh.
gonna lock you in the back
No.
in a cage and then be like, "Ha ha ha! Just kidding!
No.
Isn't that funny?
No.
You've been punked."
No. So now I'm like really trying to get away from him, but he is insisting that I go to his dog cage van, and I told him, no, actually, I'm not really comfortable with that, and it's fine. You can get me back next time. Next time? Oh, there's gonna be a next time? Are you saying that? I was actually starting to get a bit scared and would have said anything to get
Yeah,
away
let
from
him
him.
believe there's
so
gonna
I
be a
said,
next
yeah,
time.
we can go out again, of course. I was trying to break away, head down a different block. I just didn't want him to know where I was going, but no matter what I said, he kept following me. I said,
Oh my
okay,
God.
I'm going to go home now, so please stop following me. And he said, oh, is now the time you're going to do a different direction so I don't know where you live? I laughed awkwardly but said, yes.
oh,
He finally said, okay, I feel bad you paid for my dinner, but I guess this means you have to see me again. Awkward hug. Goodbyes. I thought I was in the clear. A few blocks later, I was like super relieved he was gone, thinking about what a weird creep. I was just putting my key into the door of my apartment when I heard someone run up behind me really fast. My key is halfway in the door.
That's my biggest fear. That's my biggest fear. Oh my God! I swear to God,
Christina's leaving.
Oh.
It gets so much worse.
this is my nightmare. Someone running up behind you while you have your
Real
keys
fast.
in the door.
Because he's a jokester, don't you know, Christina?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a jokester. Ha ha!
I'm gonna fucking
Surprise,
murder this guy.
bitch.
I accidentally shot you in the torso.
It was an
Ha
accident.
ha! Funny.
Ha, got you good. Got you good, you fucker. Got you back.
Oh my God.
My key was halfway in the door, and I felt this arm around my neck pressing me in a chokehold. He whispered aggressively in my ear, "Did you really want to see me again, or did you just want to pay me to pay you back?" I almost screamed, and when I turned around super pissed, he stood there laughing like I was totally funny and normal.
I hate this person so much. I have literally like droplets of sweat.
Oh, I'm sweating.
No, my heart
is racing.
pounding.
This
I
is-
just went running. Oh my, not even running because I'm really out of shape. So my heart is pounding like I just went 2 flights of
my
stairs.
God.
But
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the fuck is wrong with this person?
Dude, is this the
What
fucking...
the fuck
I
is
got
wrong with this
spicy
person?
armpits.
Oh, I know. I'm sweating for real. Needless to say, I never saw him again and blocked him on OkCupid, but occasionally he'll
No,
find
not
me.
needless to say. I'm surprised you never saw him again.
But occasionally he'll find me on some social media channel and say something weird, like 6 years after that one date, he found me on LinkedIn and wrote, "I just thought I needed to say hi. I saw
didn't.
your picture," and I was like... And it was like seeing you on the street. And if I saw you on the street, I would have had to say hi. So I'm going to say hi again now. What?
Oh,
Just like
my-
bad, gross, weird, everything not normal. I think that was the worst date, though. There have been others I have blocked out of my memory. Oh, God, nothing's worse than that.
nothing is worse than that. I
She's-
think to me, this literally is. I mean, this is my legitimate
because I'm
nightmare.
scared.
This is
Like that's
horrible.
scary. That's scary. And it's not needless to say he didn't see you again because you were at your house. Like this is the type of motherfucker who could show up and think it was funny.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no.
Put your
This
arm
person-
around my neck. Like, get the fuck out of here.
No.
I like it when you guys thought that the worst part of the date was him
The
freaking
slut
out
shame.
about the slut shaming shit.
Yeah. No.
Oh, no, that's
it gets,
all
It
bad.
gets so much worse.
Oh my God.
God.
Yeah.
Wow. Everybody, breathe.
Yeah. Well, that was a good
I know.
lead into a Crazy in Love if I ever heard one.
I mean, I feel like hot right now.
I know, I
am
I'm
really
gonna
hot.
take my
For real.
sweater off.
So hot.
That's
because
so
that was
fucking scary.
literally the most frightening thing I've ever heard. I literally I
You
have
jumped
to put,
out your chair.
I did jump out of my
Pull
chair
out of your
because
chair.
I don't. Oh, whew. I don't do scary movies.
Nope.
I don't do scary dates.
I don't like suspense.
I
I
don't.
do not want somebody coming up behind me after I thought I lost you.
Yeah,
You were still following me.
that's not cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
not
it's a
cool at all.
hardcore no.
No.
I'm so sorry that happened to you. Whoever submitted that story. Jesus Christ.
Wow. I would still have nightmares about that. That would
I
give
would
me. That would
move.
give me little.
I think I would move. I'm
Yeah.
not even kidding. Like I think I would move.
Yeah.
Like, because somebody who is willing to make those kinds of jokes thinks that it's fucking funny to like show up at your house when they know where you live and be like, "Isn't it funny? I was hiding under your bed for 6 hours." It's like, no, it's not funny. You're
I
scary.
lived in your wall.
Yeah, precisely. He's got to chatter his teeth to you in the middle of the night.
Oh
Like,
no.
no, thank you. Okay, so my crazy in love story is the abduction of Mary Stauffer.
Oh, I don't know this.
You don't?
No.
I don't think I do.
Okay, let's break it down.
Okay.
All right. So, May 16th, 1980. 1 week before leaving for a several years long trip to the Philippines,
Okay.
Mary Stauffer and her 8-year-old daughter, Beth, go to get her hair cut. So, little background on Mary. Mary is a school teacher. She is very religious. I'm pretty sure she's Baptist. Her and her husband, Irving, have spent several years overseas. They have a daughter named Beth, and then they have a son who was born in the Philippines, actually, because they've gone back and forth between the United States and Asia doing missionary trips and such.
Okay.
So they are about to go back to the Philippines. They are living in like campus housing because her husband teaches at university. So
Okay.
it's about a week before they are getting ready to go back to the Philippines for a couple of years. Mary takes her daughter Elizabeth to go get a haircut. She's coming out of the salon when she's approached by a man who threatens her with a gun and says that he needs a ride.
What?
So he pushes Mary.
How about I just give you my car?
Yeah,
You go take
have
yourself on a
this.
ride.
So he pushes Mary and Beth into the car, and Mary tries to be like, "Hey, listen, whatever problem you're having right now, we're Christians. Like, we want to help you. We will help you, like with whatever issue you're having right now." And he's just like, "Nope, shut up, just keep driving."
Oh my God.
So they start driving, At one point, they pull up to a stop sign, and ahead of them, they see a police officer, and he tells her, like, if you slow down or stop, like, I will kill you.
Oh, geez.
So
God.
he has her drive for a while until they're, like, outside the city. Then he has her pull over, like, still threatening them at gunpoint, and puts them both into the trunk. So he pushes them both into the trunk. He starts driving. He can hear them while he's driving, though, like audibly. They're, Beth is crying.
Oh my
Mary
God.
is praying. They're praying out loud. It's bothering him. So, because he can hear. Is it bothering you?
Is it bothering you?
Upsetting you?
Is my sheer terror like
scary
putting
to
you
you?
out?
I'm
so
sorry. It's so
sorry.
inconvenient.
So you're really your prayers. It's getting on my
if
nerves.
you could keep it down.
Stinks.
So he pulls over, and they can hear children and stuff. So he pulls over. They feel the car stop. He gets out, and he's like, literally, like, "Hey, keep it down. I don't want you to be crying anymore." So he pulls.
You know what helps me when I'm crying is when people tell me to stop crying.
Yeah, that's
helps.
especially as an 8-year-old.
Oh yeah.
Totally fine.
Oh, and even as an adult, someone's like, relax. I immediately relax.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing. It works
most
every time.
relaxing thing.
Calm down. I'm
so
immediately
calm.
calm.
So
In the
calm.
history of calming down, no one has ever calmed down by being told to calm down.
0 times.
0 times.
You tell me to calm down, DEFCON motherfucking 5.
Yeah. You get 11 real fucking quick.
Calm down. What do you mean, calm down? So he goes.
I'm not yelling. You're yelling.
He goes into the trunk, and he sees that Beth has managed to wiggle her way out of her restraints because he tied them up before he put them in the trunk, and she has started to untie her mom. So he takes the spare tire, puts it on top of them to try and like keep them from being able to like get to each other or move around too much. But while he's doing this, he turns around, and there is a 6-year-old little boy that's like, "Hey, what you doing?" And he immediately picks up the 6-year-old little boy, throws him into the trunk with Mary and Beth, shuts the trunk, takes off.
No, Jesus.
Like, just peels the fuck out of this park, right?
Oh my God.
So Mary tries comforting this little boy. Like, God bless this woman. She's in a trunk with her 8-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old little boy at this point.
Oh,
and
my
the
God.
boy is like, "My name is She's like, "What's your name?" "My name's Mary. This is Beth." And he's like, "My name is Jason." She starts talking to him. She starts saying things like, "We're in God's hands. He's going to get us through this." Like that calms Jason down a little bit. But after a while of driving, the car stops, pulls over again. The man comes into the trunk, pulls Jason out of the trunk, and is gone for a while. They don't know what happens. They start driving again. Little 8-year-old Beth starts crying because she's like, "What happened to Jason? Where is Jason?"
Oh my God.
In the meantime, Jason was at the park with a friend of his named Timothy. So this is fucking 1980. So what happened? Timothy's mom, Jason's mom were hanging out nearby the park, and 6-year-old Jason, I don't know how old Timothy was, but they were like, "Deuces, moms, we're going to the park." They went to the park by themselves. 6. The fucking 80s.
Yeah.
So they went to the park by themselves. Timothy saw everything. Like, he saw the people in the trunk. He saw Jason get grabbed and thrown into the trunk. So as soon as that happens, he runs to his parents, or to his mom and to Jason's mom, and is like, "This is what happened." So they call the cops immediately. The cops show up. There were a lot of witnesses, actually. Most of them children.
Broad fucking daylight. Yeah.
Broad fucking daylight. All of these kids are hanging out at the park unsupervised. So they have a lot of
Children's
witnesses.
witness statements.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
So the kids are like, "Hey, it was a green Ford vehicle," which I'm like, what child is like, I know the make and model of that vehicle.
Yeah.
But they're
Ford
like,
Fairlane,
I think it was a 76.
Yeah.
exactly.
76 Ford.
They're like, "Yeah, it's a green Ford. It had a dark green vinyl roof, and it had a sanding like mark on the side of one of the doors."
That is a lot of really good information.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
that's
Good
fucking.
job.
But I'm just like, sir,
Observe
if you're
it.
gonna open a trunk that has people in it, maybe don't do it at a park.
Yeah.
with people around. So by dinner time, Mary's husband Irving is starting to
It's
be like,
where's my fucking dinner, Mary?
Mary. Steak and potatoes were supposed to be served at 6. No. Irving seems like a very nice man. I don't want to put this on him. But so Mary's sister was also over because they were all supposed to have dinner together.
Yeah.
So he was like, I know something's wrong because they're not back from getting Beth's haircut yet.
A haircut.
And they're like, shouldn't have taken this long. So they call all of their friends and family, like, have you seen them? Where are they? They can't get a hold of anybody. So,
Well, and it's her car, so.
right. Yeah. But they're like, I don't know, maybe she went somewhere before cell phones. Like, maybe she made a stop at a friend's house or something, got caught up. My mom would do that, I'm sure. Like, she would drive to a friend's house and then not be able to stop talking for 3 hours. And then, you know. But at 7:30, Irving calls the sheriff's office. The dispatcher suggests that he continue waiting and that they'd probably be home soon. And Irving is insistent. He's like, I've called everyone. She's not going to do this. We're leaving in a week to go to the Philippines. But the dispatcher says that there's nothing she can do. Like, she's only been gone for a couple of hours. She's a grown woman. I can't send any help.
Wow.
Now, this is
I can't imagine that
80s.
helplessness.
The fucking 80s. Yeah, if you know something's wrong and like no one will help you. Yeah. So this is the same dispatcher who took the call from Jason's mom about him being missing.
Oh,
so she also knows that all of the police are out looking for Jason right now. So she's like, this is not a priority. You know, like she's like all of the
grown
cops.
woman.
Grown woman,
whatever.
Yeah, I'm not going to send anyone.
Looking for a 6-year-old kid. Okay.
So 2 hours later at 9:30, he calls again. He tells her this time, he's like, hey, we've had 2 break-ins at our apartment over the last 10 days. Someone has broken into our house.
Wow.
So one time someone tried to use a butane torch to get in the lock, to burn the lock open.
What?
And then the second time was 2 days before this. Mary had woken up in the middle of the night. She'd gone into the living room to find that a window was broken and she saw a man like outside the window. And when she went back to go get Irving, when they went back, he was gone.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
No.
Yeah. So he's like, I feel like this might be connected. Still, the dispatcher is like, hey, nothing we can do about this. Like, your wife has only been gone for 5 hours. She's a grown woman. We can't do a missing persons report. Then at 10:45, so an hour and 15 minutes later, he calls a third time and he's like, hey, I demand an officer be sent to my house. Like, I want to file a missing persons report. That's it. There's something really wrong here. So
stand your ground, Irving.
Irving.
Yes, nice.
Irv. So when she hangs up the dispatcher, she talks to another dispatcher, and this dispatcher is like, hey, so where they live and like where they were taken, that's not that far from this park where this kid was taken.
Wow.
Maybe
2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah, they're like, maybe
You
it's
jabroni.
connected.
Right.
So then the dispatcher...
Especially because you said Timothy saw that there were 2 people in the back of the fucking trunk.
Exactly.
Hi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the dispatcher then is like, oh, you know what? You're right. So she calls the officers who are working the Jason Wilkman case, and they and says, hey, like, will you go over to Irving's apartment and like talk to him? So they go over there and learn that Mary's car is a green Ford with a green vinyl roof that has a sanding mark on the side. And they're like, oh, shit.
Oh, hi.
These things are connected.
Yeah.
Yes.
So back to Mary and Beth. Later that night, Mary and Beth, they've been driving all night. It's probably like 11:30 or so. They end up stopping. The guy comes, opens the trunk, leads Beth out first, puts her in a closet, goes back, gets Mary, leads her to the closet. And then at this point, it's like a 3 by 5 foot closet. So picture that. And when she sees the closet, it has blankets and pillows and a bucket laid out. So
prepared.
He was prepared.
He was prepared.
So Mary tries to ask at this point, like, hey, what's going on? It's kind of the first time she can like actually see his face. So she's like, what's going on? Like, why did you take me? What are you doing? He's kind of ignoring her, just trying to tell her to get in the closet. At one point, she's like, I thought I heard him call me Mrs. Stauffer. And I was like, but I just kind of thought like maybe I misheard him.
Yeah.
So she's continuing to push him to like be like, why are you doing this? Can you let me go? And then at some point he says, get in, Mary, and like forces her into the closet. So at this point, she knows
he knows her.
Right.
Even though she clearly doesn't know him.
So it turns out that he was a student of hers when she taught high school math 15 years before.
What?
15 years. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. And his name is Ming Sen Shu. And Ming Sen Shu is the son of, he was born in Taiwan to Taiwanese parents. He, moved to the States, had a history of really problematic stuff in his childhood. But by the time he got to high school, things were pretty good. He was making like all A's. He was voted most likely to succeed in high school. He became obsessed with his math teacher, Mary Stauffer. He became obsessed with her.
Holy shit.
So
what the fuck?
he started writing pornographic stories about her at that point. And then
Is this why
we
you,
both went to Christina.
I know we're like,
sorry.
Is this why you thought I knew it? It wasn't me.
But he started writing stories not only about Mary, but he started having these fantasies about like middle-aged married women in general, where they all kind of ended with, they were all like sadomasochistic stories where they all ended with him being with her, them leaving their husband and bearing his children. So he wrote like a ton of stories like this. So I'm not sure exactly how he found out she was like back in town after she'd been gone a bunch.
Yeah.
But eventually he found that out and began stalking her. Like he was stalking her nonstop.
Oh my God.
I can't remember what college this was, but he had a map of the college where her husband worked, where they lived, because they lived on campus.
On campus, yeah.
With like a circle around their apartment. He knew the inside and outside of their apartment.
Oh, no.
He'd been stalking her for a considerable amount of time and even started attending their church.
Ooh.
So he was attending their church when he heard the person at the congregation announce that, or the pastor or whoever announced that they would be leaving on this
and that
mission
just
trip.
like
Triggered.
And in his mind, he said that he thought that was Mary's way of telling him that she was going to be leaving soon. So in his mind, he was like, okay, I'm going to put this plan in action right now to get her.
No.
So that night, he leads Mary into the living room where he has a video camera set up.
Oh.
And he starts interrogating her, asking her all of these questions, and then eventually makes up this entire story about how he was her student, which is true, but that she gave him a B and that it ruined his future because it prevented him from getting into a good college. So he had to go to Vietnam, where he suffered like horrible violence. None of this is true.
What?
But basically, he's
shit.
just trying to be like, you're the
Sympathy.
reason my life is trash.
And also trying to gain like sympathy,
Right.
garner like an emotion from her.
So he says that she has to pay for like what she's done to him and like done to his life. So he's like, you have to pay for this, but once you've paid for this, I will let you go and you can catch your flight to the Philippines, essentially. Like, I will let you go before your flight to the Philippines. And he's like, I'm going to record these things. Because she's like, why are you recording it? And he's like, to remind myself, I can watch them again to remind myself that you've already paid. Like, and I don't need to punish you anymore because I can just watch these and remember that, like, I've already punished you.
Oh, no.
So he does proceed to rape her.
Oh, my God.
Pretty consistently. And eventually, he, like, the next day or so, he sees the story on the news in relation to Jason Wilkman's disappearance. And so he freaks out. And he makes Mary write a letter to her husband, Irving, saying that everything is fine. She just needed to get away. She'll be back in time to go to the Philippines. And Irving gets this letter and he's like, yeah, it's in my wife's handwriting, but super sus, right?
Yeah.
And he notices that the postmark is for Minneapolis. So he's like, okay. He turns that over to the FBI. Of course, he did not release them when promised, because Mary wakes up. She's like, okay, this is the day that he told me he's going to release me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she like hears him get up, because she, talked about all of this later. She like hears him get up and she's like about to wake up Beth to be like, okay, we're going now. He's going to take us home. And he leaves the house. And she's like, okay, he's not going to let us go. So while all this is going on, Ron, Ming's brother, is living in the house. But doesn't know what's happening because Mary found out what was going on because eventually once Ming doesn't let her go, she's like, okay,
we got to get the fuck out of here.
But also like she's got her child there. She's like, we need to try and like make life livable right now.
Oh,
so
my God.
He's bringing her daughter like junk food and stuff to eat. And so eventually she says like, hey, my daughter's like a growing child. You need to bring like meat and vegetables and things like to feed my kid.
Right.
And so she's like, I will even cook if you just like bring these things in. So he does. Now, while all this is going on, Mary and Beth are chained together. Like they're chained attached to each other.
God.
And so he sets this thing up in the kitchen where they have to remain chained together, but he like chains them to another thing in the kitchen to allow her to cook. So while she's cooking, she notices that like someone else is using the kitchen. So she knows someone is there and she's like, maybe I can leave a note. But she's like, no, if he finds the note,
Oh, God.
that could be really bad for me. And Ron knows that someone else is there too, but he assumes that his brother got a girlfriend because he's noticing that the kitchen is clean. And he's like, my brother never keeps the kitchen clean.
Oh my God.
And he even comments at this time to a friend, he's like, who would date my brother? Like, he's such a fucking weirdo. Like, why would anyone date him?
Oh my God.
Oh, my God.
And his brother, like, Ming told Ron, like, you can be in your part of the house where your bedroom and your bathroom is, and you can be in the kitchen, but you can't be in any other part of the house. And he thought he was just being secretive because, like, he wanted to keep his relationship private or whatever.
Oh, no.
So around this time, Mary starts, like, looking around the house to the parts that she can reach to find clues. And she finds a piece of paper that has the address that they're staying on it.
Oh, no.
She memorizes it. She makes Beth memorize it.
Nice.
Like, they go through time where like they memorize this address. She's like, don't forget what this address is. Ming is trying daily to make Mary, quote unquote, fall in love with him.
Ooh.
And she's like, I don't love
I'd be
you.
the great pretender all of a sudden.
I'm loyal to my husband. Like, I don't want. In fact, at one point, she's like, in the beginning, before he rapes her, she's like, I'd rather you beat me, like, than rape me. Like, you know,
of course.
He does it anyway. And when she refuses to like give herself up to him voluntarily, he gets so enraged that at one point, he comes at her in the closet. She tries to shut him out, and he had a plastic bag in his hand, puts it over Beth's head,
No.
and says, like, if you don't do this like voluntarily, you can just watch her suffocate. Do you know it takes like 4 to 5 minutes, so you'll just watch that happen. So she walks up to him and like kisses him on the cheek, and he's like, that's not good enough. So she kisses him on the mouth, and then he takes the bag off of Beth's head.
Oh my God.
So at this point, he makes Beth write a second letter, or Mary write a second letter, because he's like, hey, they're still fucking looking for you, and they're still framing it as if it's a abduction, not like you went off on your own. What the fuck? So she has to write a second letter. And then he rents an RV, and he's like, hey, I'm going to this work conference in Chicago. I kind of want you guys to come with me.
Oh my God.
So he takes them to Chicago. He keeps them chained together in the RV with boxes over them, and he rips out the door handles on the inside of the RV so that they can't get out. At one point, he allows Mary to call her husband's office to see if he's still there, like to see if he moved to the Philippines or not.
Without her?
Yes. Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
And
yeah.
so he stands.
You know what? This is fine.
It's fine.
I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go.
She'll catch up later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. So he stands next to her by the payphone while she makes this phone call, and she's talking to someone she knows. Like, it's a colleague of her husband's that she's met before, and so she's talking to him, like asking him these questions. But Ming is standing right there. But at one point, someone starts yelling at Ming to move the RV, and so at that point, she like whispers into the phone, like, "This is Mary." Like, this is Mary, but he doesn't hear her because she whispered.
No.
So, So some more time goes by, and on June 16th, which is 1 month later, like a full month.
Oh my God.
Ming lets Beth call her dad on Father's Day, and you can hear you can hear it. Like there's a recording of it.
Oh shit!
Because at this point, the FBI has been tapping
Yeah.
his phone,
Yeah.
so you can hear him call her, and oh my God, like her call him, and the dad is just so like heartbroken. Like it's so because he's trying to be like, oh hi honey, how are you? But you can hear it in his voice.
Panic.
He's just like, can I talk to the guy who's got you? Like, are you okay? Is your mom okay? You know? And she's like, no, you can't talk to him. Just wanted to say Happy Father's Day. I love you. Goodbye. You know?
Oh my God.
So then June 20th comes around, which is my friend Sienna's birthday. It's also Mary's birthday. So they celebrate Mary's birthday. July comes around. The brother moves out of the house. And because the brother moves out of the house, he's then like, okay, we're going to move things around for you. So he moves Beth and Mary, still chained together, into another room. But what he does is he chains them to a door now. Like now they're chained to a door. Keep that in mind. Pin that for later.
Got it.
July 4th, he takes them to go see fireworks. He makes them wear sweaters where he puts the sweaters over their heads, but he takes them to go see fireworks, and Mary sees a cop car and she's like, okay, I can't make a run for it, but she memorizes the number of the police number that's on the side of the car.
The phone number.
The phone number. Yeah, she memorizes the phone number.
Is this before 911?
I don't know. 1980? I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't remember when
Yeah, I don't.
But maybe she
remember
wanted
either.
to contact the local police. I don't know.
I
have no idea. Either way, smart girl. Like, so smart. So at this point, Ming starts talking about how the owners of the house he's living in are coming back. And so he starts telling them, like, I want to buy the RV that we rented to go to Chicago, and then we can just travel together.
Yeah.
And so at this point, Mary is like, okay, he's never going to let us go.
Right. Yeah.
So she starts working on like fixating on the hinge, like the door hinge, and trying to figure out how to get out of this lock. So because she's on the, like she's chained to the door, there was a way that she could like manipulate her chains to like loop it out and like around the door to like get loose. So she's still chained to Beth. So she's still chained to Beth, but she's not chained to the door anymore.
Got it.
So she practiced that, and she practiced like escaping her chains like in that way for a while. And she finally gets out, and she's like, okay, we got to get to the phone. So she tries getting to the phone, but she's chained to Beth, and Beth is terrified. So Beth is screaming and scared, and she's like, we can't do this. We need to go back into the room. Like, he's going to get mad. He's going to punish us, and is hysterical, like screaming. No. So Mary goes back into the room with Beth and is like trying to calm her down.
Trying to bird box her. You got to bird box those kids.
You do. Like, you have to listen to me. Well, she does. She does kind of bird box her. She's like, Beth, this is our chance. We have to go now. And Beth will not, like, because she started to calm down. So when she starts to calm down, she's like, hey, this is our chance. We got to go. That makes Beth freak out again. So Mary slaps her.
Yeah, yes, just gonna say you bird box that kid.
Yeah, she slaps her, and then she realizes, like, oh my gosh, I know this has been super traumatic for you. I'm super sorry for slapping you, but
get it together.
Man up
to go.
Man up, Beth. Come on.
So then they get out of there. They call the police, and she says, "This is Mary Stauffer. You're looking for me and my daughter. If you come here," this is the address, because she'd memorized the address. She's like, this is where I'm at. He's not home right now, but he keeps guns all over the house. He's gonna go down fighting. Like, you have to know that if you show up here. So,
no.
So they're like, okay, stay in the house.
No.
Yeah, they're
go
like,
to a neighbor's.
Stay in the house. Stay down.
No.
We're on our way. So she's like, okay, Beth. Maybe that slap really did do something, because Beth, 8-year-old Beth, is like, no, Mom, we need to get out of this house.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So she listens to Beth, and she they go out, they crouch down behind a car. What they didn't realize, though, these cops, like, the first time in history that like cops showed up immediately, because by the time they were going out the back door, the cops were there.
Oh,
like,
wow.
They'd shown up at that time. So, and they didn't know like how to approach the house, because they thought that like they were inside.
Yeah.
So then they see Beth and Mary, crouched behind a car. They go over to them and like get them,
Oh,
put them in the back
God.
of their police car. So while they're in the back of the police car, though, they ask Mary and Beth where Jason is. They're like, hey, where is Jason?
Oh, no.
And Mary is like, it takes her a minute because she's
like, who's Jason?
Yeah, exactly. And then she was like, oh, you haven't found him yet? Like, Ming said that he let him go. Like, that's what I thought he was doing. Whenever he, like, left us in the trunk, I thought that he let him go. It turns out, this is sad, so trigger warning, he beat Jason to death. With a medal. Because he's a terrible person. But at this point, they don't know that. So they actually read Mary her rights because they're like, we don't know if you were involved in this. We don't know what happened to Jason. To her credit, she's like super fucking understanding. And she's like, I understand. Like, go ahead.
I'm just out of this, right?
And you can see pictures. They go to like, once they're arrested and they're in
They're literally chained together.
They're chained together. And you can see the pictures of them. It's like bicycle chains. You know, it's,
Jesus.
you know, it's weird. So they
Stellar
go to
police work, guys.
Yeah, they got themselves out of this situation.
Yeah, I know.
You guys literally did nothing.
Yeah,
right.
So they go to Ming's place of work and they find him in the basement. He offers no resistance, but the entire time he's like, "What's this about? What's up?
What?
You don't know what's happening."
Oh my God.
So they set the bail for him at $1 million. He tries 2 escape attempts while he's in prison.
Oh,
one of
my
them
God.
is trying to get another inmate to break him out. The second time he would go and buy Kit Kats. The guy's really smart. He would go and buy Kit Kats. Like the guy who ran commissary was like, "Hey, this guy's buying a lot of Kit Kats," and he was like,
Dude, they're good though.
"They are good."
I mean, they're
though.
good.
Legit, though.
I get it,
Low-key, they're
but
delicious.
also,
But he was using the foil because he noticed that when he threw out the trash from the Kit Kats, he threw out the plastic, but not the foil wrapping. So he was using the foil wrapping to like unscrew, to like fashion like a screwdriver.
oh my God.
Mm-hmm. So after a while, his defense is like, his mom hires like a really good defense attorney, and his defense attorney is like, listen, the prosecution has a lot of evidence, including fucking eyewitness testimony.
Yeah.
So we need to use the insanity defense here, that
Oh my
like
God.
he believed that Mary was happy with him, like that they were a family.
Oh my God.
Because he had done things like bought Beth coloring books and like tried to, you know, ingratiate himself to her and all of that stuff.
This is not how this works.
No,
that's not how
it's not
any
how-
of this works.
Nope.
So they call Mary to the stand, and when she's walking up to the stand, he turns to her and says, "Why did you leave me? Why did you go that day?" So he gets so hysterical, they have to remove him from the courtroom, and then 3 hours later, she testifies. Now, Ming also admits during this portion that he had actually broken into their house not 2 times, but 3 times.
Oh my God.
He'd broken into their house a time when they didn't even know about. So they allow the tapes of the interrogation to be brought into the trial, but not the portions of it where Mary is being raped, just the portions of it where he's asking her like crazy numbers of questions. Because he taped all of their interactions, that with the living room that had the like videotape up. And officers did find guns all throughout the house, like in every room of the house.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to skip ahead because there was a lot going on. They had to like split up the trials. They split up Mary and Beth's abduction from Jason Wilkman's murder. They split it up and had 2 separate trials. So during the second trial for Jason Wilkman, Mary is testifying and Ming lunges at her. He managed to get a knife into the courtroom.
What?
And cuts her mouth. She has a scar, like a half Joker scar, like on one side of her mouth, because he managed to get to her. Yes.
See,
which, like, fucking how? Like, how?
Dude, is it Andy fucking Griffith is the like police captain?
Yeah, I'm
in this
like,
place or what?
don't
gee
know.
whiz, guys. How'd he get a knife in here?
Jesus.
Fucking 1980, they don't have, like,
Good
did
God,
they not
bailiffs?
have metal detectors? Or? Yeah, I mean, it turns out that he had a couple of different psychiatrists examine him, and some of them were like, no, he's fine and he has a high IQ. But then a couple other ones were like, no, he has schizophrenia or signs for schizophrenia and massive delusions. Like,
erotomania is just an obsession. It's not like an actual like it's not like schizophrenia or whatever, but
Right.
Totally
it is.
different.
It's just it's totally different. But it's not like there are tons of people that actually live with it. That live with the fact that they saw somebody in the grocery store,
Right.
and got fucking obsessed with them,
Right.
and cannot stop
Yeah.
thinking about that person
but
in the grocery
It
store.
is an interesting thing with this guy because like there were things about his childhood. Like one time his mom woke up and like after his father had died, because they were Chinese, and in Chinese tradition, like when the father dies, the oldest son is in charge.
Right.
So he took that to mean that he was literally dominant over his mom and his
no.
brothers. So he ordered them around all the time. And one time the mom woke up in the middle of the night to find him standing over her.
No.
And he had cut out the crotch of her pajamas.
No.
And was standing
Nope.
over her
Nope.
with a flashlight.
Nope. Nope.
And he had done things like lit stuff on fire. He'd
Oh
gone
my
to
gosh.
Okay, yeah, he's psycho.
He's
okay.
definitely
Yeah,
he'd been
but-
he'd been put in a psychiatric unit before, but they released him after like a couple of months because of some kind of like technicality.
Shit.
So they said basically that he was completely out of touch with reality. When he saw some of the videos that he had made, he was like, I would never have done that to Mary.
Oh,
I
my
didn't do
God.
that to her. So he was sentenced to 40 years for the murder charge to be served concurrently with his previous 30-year sentence that he got for abducting Mary and Beth. And he
Doesn't seem like enough.
he
I'm
was
gonna say it.
I mean,
No.
concurrently, that means you're going to serve 40 years maybe, because you're
Yeah.
not it's not 70 years, it's not 30 and 40.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
serving them concurrently.
No.
You killed a child with an iron bar.
Yeah.
And you
I'm-
imprisoned
ugh.
and raped a woman and terrorized her child for months.
Yeah.
She was
They
gone
have
for
to-
like 56 days.
You
Oh,
then
my
like
God.
mutilated her face.
Yeah.
Yes, and she was permanently scarred.
Yeah.
So is he not getting assault charges on top of that? Because
I don't
Sorry, like,
know. She had to have
fuck.
62
Fucking 80s.
stitches to close the facial wound. He was later declared eligible for parole on July 6, 2010. And they were like, hell no. But his
good.
lawyers are basically like, he's harmless. He's not a danger anymore to anybody.
No.
But
no.
yes, he's still in prison. To Mary's credit, and listen, I'm not highly religious, but obviously it did something amazing for her.
Yeah.
She came out and said that that's what got her through it, was
Yeah.
like her religion, and she actually went and met with Ming's mother
Wow.
and had a conversation with her where she was like, it's not your fault
Sure.
that this happened, and I'm so sorry that like this is what's happening. So she's
Wow.
like an incredible lady.
Wow.
And now her and her daughter Beth both like go and speak
Wow.
about Survivor,
What an
surviving, something
amazing
like that.
story. I'd never heard that.
Yeah,
Me
but
either.
and also, sorry, my notes were all over the place, but this is a crazy and love story, so you can't leave this out. Yes, when they went and like searched his house, tons
Shrine.
of like stories,
Oh,
all
yeah.
kinds of things dedicated to Mary. Like,
That's what I'm
he was
telling you.
obsessed.
That's why I'm telling you got to listen to that latest episode of Cold.
Oh, I'm scared.
when they unlock,
dude.
when they get into Steve's room.
I'm scared.
I'm
I'm
telling
very
you,
scared.
if listeners, if you're not listening to the podcast Cold,
Cold is amazing.
Ooh, Jesus.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this one stood out to me for a crazy and love story because I'm like,
No, this is
15 years.
No,
he
totally.
sat on that shit, was
Yes.
obsessed with her for 15 years. And it's not like 15 years where he could go and check in on her all the
No.
time. Like she had
Came
left
back
the
to it.
country
Came back to
several
it.
times, and every time like he found her. And
Yeah.
this is before Facebook. It's before like you could just
Dude.
look someone up. Like he had to like work to continuously find her
Man.
and keep track of her. So he did for 15 fucking years.
That's bananas.
insane.
And if you see this woman, she's adorable, but she's like such a church mouse. Like she's so. But he said
nothing
that's,
like, oh my God, right?
no, but
Yeah,
he said that's
just
what
was
he
obsessed.
liked about her. He was like, she was so conservative and sweet. And when his mom asked him, "Why did you do this?" he said, and this is gonna gross you out, "She reminded me of you."
Ugh.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out
So
of here.
ew.
So
Ew,
gross.
Oedipus.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, if you have a crazy in love suggestion or a
Yeah.
shorty or a story or anything at all, please reach out to us through our website at myworstdatepodcast.com. You can also become a patron. You can connect with us on social media. You can buy tickets to our upcoming show,
which is this weekend.
Yep.
At the time this episode comes out, the show will be this weekend. So if you want to join us, if you're in the LA area, please, please, please do. It is on February 8th and 9th at the Actors Workout Studio in North Hollywood. You can find tickets on our website, myworstatepodcast.com.
And on the 8th, we are featuring Keep It Weird as our opener. And then on the 9th, we are having Boobies and Newbies.
Yeah, so give them a listen too.
Yeah, those guys are so
really,
great.
really great podcasts.
Yeah, totally.
And yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.